set up, so give me a second. Hold on. Don't nobody fall off. I tried to change my orientation. I thought I had it figured out, but when I did, it said I had to rotate my phone. It wouldn't let me use that orientation. So, little bumfuzzled, but we'll keep working on it. We'll keep trying. Let's see. Let me get my live pulled up on my computer here. Live pulled up on my computer here. All right. And mute my computer. Gotta do that. All righty. Welcome in, everybody. Thank y'all for being here with me. It is Friday evening, and I'm glad the week is over. It's Easter weekend, so the rest of the weekend is going to be slow and fun. We don't have a big stressful holiday planned, which I'm looking forward to. We're going to do a small dinner here at the house, and maybe just some ham and some deviled eggs and some mashed potatoes and some rolls. We're going to have a good country Thanksgiving here in the house this weekend. So I have had a stressful day, emotionally stressful, and I'm ready to craft for a little bit. And I've been thinking about this since last night. So I wanted to share with y'all what I've pulled out and kind of what I've got in my head. So as you've heard me say, I have a whole lot of craft supplies, everything from, all the different crafts from all the different places. The only thing I stick to pretty religiously is Stampin' Up ink and Stampin' Up paper. I love those two things. And when I kind of found them and realized how much I enjoyed having that combination of ink and paper that matches, I pretty much cleared my stash, my room of all the other papers and all the other inks. I do have StazOn because that's a different type. But I will do just about anything, but you're pretty much going to see me with Stampin' Up paper for the most part. As far as stamps, I have a ton of Stampin' Up stamps, but I've also got a bunch of other kinds too. And what I like to do sometimes is just pull out some of those old stamp sets and remember why I liked them, remember why I bought them or why I've kept them in my stash. And this is one of them. This one kind of stays in my head because I really like the design of card that you can make with this. Now, this is an old one. It's a retired, I couldn't even tell you when, maybe in the last 5 years, but it does have a die set. You can do a lot with the dies, and it's a red rubber set. But what I liked about it was with any paper and any ink, you could use these stamps and create a cohesive little centerpiece to put on your cards. And you could use up a lot of paper that way. So I've done a lot of cards just by taking solid colored paper and a coordinating ink and stamping these designs on, cutting them out, and then putting them on the front of a card. That style, that sketch speaks to me. Hey, Yoda, thanks for being here. And so, like I said, the last 2 nights I've been doing kind of scrappy cards, using up some stuff that I had. And this one kept coming into my mind. So I just went ahead and pulled it out tonight. So what I've got to get us started, we're going to make cards that are going to have 4 different squares on the front as kind of a focal point, and then whatever sentiment that we want. But this is where I'm taking my inspiration. I pulled this stamp set out in case I need to make some papers to match, but keep that in mind. The other thing I pulled out was I went through my scrap patterned papers, and I pulled out anything that was like 1.5 inches and bigger, because I'm thinking 1.5 inches is a good size for that square. And the more, if it's longer, you can just coordinate, and we'll show you how we do that in a minute. So if you're wanting to craft along, you don't have to have that stamp set. Just go through your patterned paper, pull out anything that's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. You could even probably do it with 1 inch if you layered some, we might even play with that in a little bit. But you're kind of wanting the paper to do the work for you on this one. So kind of those bigger pieces. I did pull out my stack of card fronts. Now the front is what goes between kind of your design and the base of your card. And so I want it to be something that coordinates and looks nice, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a focal point. It doesn't have to take attention away from anything. So I looked for most of my solid colored pieces. I pulled that out because I've got some other paper that matches it. But kind of my fronts, I looked for something that would kind of blend into the background. And so that's my card fronts. I pulled out, anytime I use solid colored paper, if I have half a sheet left, I usually turn it into a card base. So I have kind of a random selection of card bases that I know I want to try to use. Make sure I'm in the frame here. I'm not even looking at my own video. Let me scoot this down. Hold on. See where I'm at? There we go. So I've pulled out just my random card bases. If I need to, I've got my plain white, black, and craft paper cardstocks behind me. But I really want to try to use these up first. So that's what I've got out. I pulled out some embossing folders to use with those fronts in case I needed to add some texture. And I just grabbed kind of some generic ones. This is a standard go-to. It's called Elegant Leaves, I think. I use that for a lot of things. I pulled out a couple geometrics. This is a fairly recent Stampin' Up one. I laid the folder aside, so I'm not sure what it's called. This is an older Stampin' Up. I've not even pulled this one out of the package, so I kind of felt like I needed to pull it and use it. Layered florals. I thought I'd used it, but it's still factory sealed, so we might break that open tonight for a nice, pretty floral background. And then this is the only die I pulled. It's called Dots and Spots, and it just makes kind of that, again, the same kind of thing as the embossing folders. It'll just give some texture and some dimension to that background piece, that front, if we decide to use it. Wasn't sure if we would or not, but I went ahead and grabbed it since I was pulling. See if I can get this back in here. Lay those aside. I also pulled stamp sets that have sentiments that I like. This is one that I really like to use a lot. Small sentiments that fit on some pre-sized sentiment strips. So I got this one out specifically, hoping to use it quite a bit. These just because I like some of them. The warm hello, because you're awesome, thank you. I like some of those sentiments, so I pulled that. Same thing with this one, it's okay. I like these sentiments. I think they're bigger than most of the sentiment pieces that I already have, but we'll see. We might get to use some of them. And then just the same thing with these two. Just sentiments that I like that I kind of wanted to work with tonight. Hello, everybody. Hello, Crystal. Is it supposed to be what? Is it supposed to be? The answer is probably no, and I don't know how to fix it if there's something wrong with the video. The other thing I pulled is some punches. I just got this punch recently, and I love working with it. Just a simple little stamp punch. It would be cute to use that on smaller pieces if we decide to create that kind of a maybe even get 3 across and 3 down, that kind of design if we choose to use it. Same thing with the hexagon. These two stamps, and you can see most of these are Stampin' Up. I'm not sure what that blue and white one was, what the stamp punch was. These actually fit together. So if we come across a piece that might look like a quilt or look like the pieces really intertwined, that might be a cool design to work with. Still kind of keeping that 4 square design. And then these, I have seen a lot of cards where people punch these out and use them to layer over the front of their cards. I pulled them mostly because I do have some bigger pieces of paper, and we might play with them a little bit. I think I'm going to stick mostly with the squares, just standard squares, because that you don't have to have anything special for. But I did pull the punches just to have them over here in case we decided, and I wouldn't have to go run and grab them. So other than that, I've got my inks handy. I've got my embossing machine behind me. I've got my glue. I've got some tape. And that's what we're going to play with tonight and see if we can come up with some cards. And so I did kind of pre-pick like the first ones I might work on. So these are, let me throw this out here. These are some strips. They're like 1 1/4, I think. But they're really pretty because they've got, yeah, they're not quite 1 1/2. But I thought we might fudge and use them, might need them because they've got that pretty gold foiling on them. Some of them are gold, some of them are silver. I really pulled these out because you can see I've got quite a few of them from Christmas cards a couple years ago that I was making. And they just add a nice shine. So I pulled them out even though they're a little bit smaller. This is a piece of paper that came in a paper pumpkin, and I absolutely love it. Like, I have been hoarding these little strips because I just love them so much. And I finally said, no, tonight we're going to make them into a card. I love them, and they got to come out of my stash. So I think I'm going to start with this one just to kind of show you what I'm thinking and how to make this card. And then we'll just kind of work and see what the paper tells us to do. So I'm going to start off with these. And I do think they're 1 1/2 inches. Let me double check. 1 1/2 inches. So I'm going to cut this into an 1 1/2 by 1 1/2 square. And I really just went with that because it encompassed a lot of the paper that I had. If we find one that's 2 inches, we may go with a 2-inch square. But since these were only 1 1/2 inches wide, we're going to go with an 1 1/2 square. And I need them in multiples of 4. It looks like I'm getting 3 per strip. I may make several cards like this because, like I said, I think this is the prettiest paper. And it came in a paper pumpkin, which is a kit from Stampin' Up. And the cards I made out of it, I absolutely loved. And then now I kind of want to use this. I want to get it going and put it into some pretty cards instead of hoarding it. I'm kind of to the point with my craft room that I've either got to start using stuff or stop buying stuff. And we all know I'm not going to stop buying. Every time I get something in here, I go to put it up or kind of organize it. Oops, I just did that one the wrong size. Oh well. We'll still use it for something. I start to go put up some of my new supplies or new papers or new, stamp sets, and there's no room. I'm out of space, storage space. So I have really either got to start using it or stop buying it. Okay, so we've got 8 of these little squares, and we could put them together. We might let's try. Well, we can do a couple different designs. Let's try that. So the other thing I have handy is my bag of solid colored scraps. So we could actually border these if we wanted to. Let me find a card front that I think they'll look good on. I'm really liking that brown. The brown and the blue is setting it off for me. So what I'm thinking is on this card front, we could put these squares like so. That would be really pretty. But I think we can jazz it up just a little bit. One of the things we could do is put some navy blue behind it to help set them off. And so I'm going to look into my solid colored scraps and see if I can find a navy blue, that color, or something that'll work with it. And when I say I'm digging in my scrap bag, this is my scrap bag of solid colors. I've got a whole shelf full of papers behind me, but I really am trying to stick with the scraps. What can I do with my scraps? And use these up. So that's a navy blue that's really pretty with it. So we could cut a big square. I'm going to need that trimmer a lot. I'm going to be moving it back and forth, I have a feeling. So we could cut like a big square of the navy blue and then just border these on it nice and even. Like so. And then that can go on our card front and sit on our card base. I'm liking that. So I think this is going to be our first one. So if these are 1.5 and 1.5, that's 3 inches. And if I gave an eighth, an eighth, and an eighth, let's see, that'd be 3 and a quarter, look, 3 and 3/8. Let me see if I can cut this. 3 and 3/8. I don't know if I can do a 3/8 very well. What's the width of this? This is, yeah, it's plenty big. So it's 4 inches. Let's see if we can go, let me start with 3 3/4. 3, and there's 1, 2, 3.5, I guess. I don't need to go 3 3/4. Let's go 3.5 by 3.5 and see what that looks like. And this to me is real life card making. Sometimes when I watch demonstrators, you know, or watch different YouTube content creators, they have the plan and the measurements and everything. And I love being able to sit down with a template like that and make cards. But when I'm trying to work with my scraps or trying to come up with my own designs, I just kind of sit down and start piecing things around and seeing what it looks like. We can even trim down the floral pieces if we need to make them work. Let's see. I'm going to scoot them up to the top because I see I've got plenty of room at the bottom. And I want to pop these up on, I think I want to pop these up on pop dots. I want some dimension to it. This paper is not the traditional thick Stampin' Up! DSP. It's a little thin, so I'm probably going to use a lot of these little pop dots behind it to make sure it stands up nice. If y'all can hear my kitty cat, she's crying at the door. She wants in. But y'all, she would be up here in the middle of everything. She does not mind when it comes to not getting on the dresser or getting on the desk. She wants up in the middle of everything. I'm sorry, Dora. Bless her little heart. She's the queen of this house. She gets everything she wants. And right now she just can't be in here, and that's killing her. She says, why is this door closed? I did not give permission for this door to be closed. Okay. So like I said, I'm going to use a lot of these little pop dot, or I call them pop dots, dimensionals, whatever you want to call them, foam dots, because I want this element to stand up. And you know what? Now that I'm looking at that, I think I want to ink the edges. I don't usually do that in my card making. I do it a lot in my junk journaling. But I think I want to ink those edges. And I think that's going to be pecan pie. Let me see what's going to happen if we ink that. We've got that little scrap piece I cut wrong. Let's see what happens if we ink around it. We got this little piece that I miscut. Let's see. I could even do it in blue. That might get lost in the blue background. I kind of like that. Like I said, I don't usually do this in my card making, but I think I'm going to. I think I like that. What y'all think? Anybody watching? Anybody got an opinion? My junk journals are usually fairly, you know, grungy, vintage, distressed. I don't know what the right term. I like the kind of not so clean look in my junk journals. But usually my cards have been the opposite. And I don't know, I'm kind of beginning to blend the two styles a little bit more. Let's see. This one's already sticky, so it's giving me a problem. Now let me pull this, scoot that up, and pull this close and see if I can get it right. Really close on that border. And like I said, I know this piece is just a little bit big. And so once we get them on there, I can trim it down. Because math is not my strong suit. I can do some addition and some subtraction, but not usually on camera. I was a teacher, but I was not a math teacher. I took, for my master's degree, I had to take advanced statistics. And my professor said, you know, I was doing really good because I could memorize every formula that he gave me. I just didn't know how to apply it or when to apply which formula and when to use it. So I struggled in that class, and I was just praying I would get out with a C. And I really do think he took pity on me and gave me a C because one of our tests, I'm mixing two stories here. One of our tests, we were allowed to take in a 3x5 note card with the formulas written on it. And I told him I didn't need the formulas. I asked him if I could write some of the rules about using the formulas. And he said no, he wouldn't let me do that. And I think he thought I was joking about not needing the formulas. I walked in, did not have my note card. But when we had to start writing down the formulas, and I was just adding them down, he was so impressed that I had memorized them all. But then when it came to the part where you had to like apply them, I flunked that part. Like I didn't know when to do what with a formula. And I was really good with the Excel part. I love Excel. And so we got to use the computer for some of it. And I was really good with that part. But the rest of it, I just was not good. I didn't know what I was doing. And so he even asked me once what my history with math was in high school, like what math classes I took, and, you know, if I'd had advanced math classes. And I said, no, I actually had to do remedial math when I came to college because my ACT score wasn't high enough. And the more we talked, he said, well, you must have had a really good math teacher because you're doing really well with it. You just struggle with some of the concepts. And I said, well, if you want to meet my math teacher, I do think they have a support group for anyone that's ever tried to teach me math. You can probably join it. He got really tickled. And then I told my high school math teacher, I said, I said, y'all probably had a support group. And he said, we do. We do. Hey, Bonnie. Welcome, welcome. I'm just chatting and talking to myself and telling funny stories and laughing at myself. Having a fun Friday night. I decided to ink up some of these little squares to help give them some dimension. And I'm really bad about getting it out of camera range, so if I'm too far down, y'all may have to shout at me. It has been a wild week here in my town. Earlier in the week, there was an employee at Walmart who was stabbed, and she unfortunately passed away. It was late at night, and a guy just came in, and he said he had been plagued by demons, and he thought he was killing the demon that had been, you know, chasing him. And when he was done, he realized it wasn't the demon, it was that woman. and he didn't know her. There was no connection between them, but he killed her. He stabbed her to death. And then there was an incident. I don't have this one confirmed, but someone told me what there was. There's several different universities in our town. There was an incident on one of the university campuses, and someone was injured. I don't think it was a death, but it was a pretty severe injury. You know, they were hurt pretty bad. And then today, my friends were dropping me off at my car at kind of a little commuter lot that we have near a mall. And all of a sudden, here came the fire and ambulances flying up and heading to JCPenney. So we don't know necessarily what happened there. We've not heard. And I'm hearing the sirens go now. We are in a decent-sized town, but we're usually pretty quiet. But this has just been a bad week. It's that time of year when the weather's changing, and sometimes people struggle with that. When it goes winter or when it goes spring, that can be a struggle for some people. Most people think that when the spring comes, everything's okay, but if you're suffering from a mental health issue, crisis, or challenge, and spring comes, you know, in the winter, everybody has a little bit of a depression because a lot of times we're inside, not, you know, all those things. So if you have a mental health challenge or crisis, you kind of feel like you've got, like people understand, like they're, you know, you're not the only one, because everyone's kind of a little bit depressed during the winter. But when spring comes and everybody else starts kind of, you know, getting happier, getting in a good mood, and you don't, that can be even more of a trigger for people with a challenge. So, okay. I knew when I cut this it was a little big, and so now I'm going to try to trim it off and make my borders even all the way around. And I may have to do it a couple times because I don't want to do... You can always take off more, but you can't add it back on. Cannot add it back on. I had one of my friends that watched watched one of my other lives, and she said, boy, you talk about depressing stuff. And I said, no, I just don't shy away from those depressing conversations. I know everybody's got struggles and issues, and my day job is in the mental, you know, the mental health, kind of the crisis response field. And so I just understand it. And so I don't shy away from those conversations. So I'll talk about it on here. I'll talk about it anywhere. Okay. So now I'm going to put this down, and because those little squares are popped, I'm going to put this one flat. Nice glue border on it. If I've not looked up and said hello, welcome in. Glad y'all are all here. We are just hanging out and making some cards, using up some scraps. So that's the start of our card. And now, I kind of think I had this one pictured on like a craft card base. But do I need something between, another layer between here? That blends in just a little too much. Let's double check. I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't have a navy blue one. Let me see if... Let's see what this looks like. That's kind of pretty. Looks a little dark. I think I would definitely need another. I think I need another layer behind that. So let me see if I've got some more of that blue. See if I've got another piece of that blue. Is that it? I think that's it. I wonder if I can get another layer out of it. Just layer that onto it. I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. So this one is 5, and the base is 5.5. So let's cut this at 5 1/4. 5 1/4. I'll put this on top of, well, let me make sure that's what I'm wanting. Do I want it on the, I think I'm liking it on the brown. What do y'all think? Any of y'all have an opinion? Of course, we're gonna bling it up and put something with it. Put a sentiment and stuff. Do you like it on the brown? Or do you like it on the white? The cream. Choices? Let y'all give y'all a second to answer me there. Get all these little pop dot papers off. If y'all don't have a preference, I think I'm going to go with this one, and then I think I'm seeing gold embellishments. I think that's what's leading me on this one. So we can go ahead and at least put it down on the blue. If y'all have a thought or a preference, tell me. It may look like I'm using a lot of glue, but I've got that really thin nozzle on my glue press, and it puts out just a little bit. And that's what I need, just a little bit of glue. Okay. And then, yep, I think it's going on this craft cardstock. I think that's what's looking good. This glue bottle is getting low. It's not running out, but it's getting low, and so I have to give a double squeeze. There we go. Now let's see if I've got a sentiment that will go with this. There's a craft one. Thank you so much. I don't want to use the green. Just a card to say hello. That might be cute. Some of these are teeny tiny little sentiments. Sending happy thoughts. Let's see. I do need another birthday card. Where was that? There was one, celebrate. Ooh. Be strong, be brave, you've got this. That's a good sentiment. I like those. We may use those tonight. I think maybe this one down here at the bottom. I think we're going to go with that. We're going to make several cards tonight, so we'll have lots of opportunities for different sentiments. And pop dots. I don't think that needs to be inked. Do y'all? I do have another one. I could try it, and if it didn't work, I could do it, don't I? I could try it, and if it didn't look good, we could use the other one. Just a little bit on the edge, give it some definition. Yeah, I think that looks good. Yeah, that does help it just pop up. Let's see, do I have any gold ribbon? Let me look up there for ribbon. little piece of gold. I did have a piece of linen thread. Where's it? I know I cut one too small the other night, and it's laying up here somewhere, just waiting to be used. I've also got, I don't think that's the right color. Have a nice stash of ribbon and everything, and I forget to use it sometimes. Let's try some linen thread on it. Oh, that would have been cool. Have I glued? Yeah, I've glued that down. I should have wrapped it around that. Yeah, that's not coming off. Should have wrapped it around that. Yeah, I think we're going to go with the linen thread. Not seeing anything else up there that's grabbing me. All my gold ribbon, metallic gold, is too thick. So where are my scissors? Let's see if we can. See if we can just kind of put this here. Then I need to spread it out. I'm not good unless I tie a bow, and I don't think this needs a bow. I think it just needs some texture behind it. So let me try that. They say just make it look messy, and I'm like, I can't do that. I'm not good at that. All right. I think I've got that how I like it. So I'm going to put just a little bit of tape over it to hold it down while I get my cinnamon on it, because that's the other time I'll mess up, is I'll get something I like on there, get it laying the way I like it, and then while I'm trying to mess to put the thing on top of it, it moves and I don't like it anymore. I fight with embellishments sometimes, and sometimes they win. Sometimes they win. There. I'm liking that. Now we need some gold embellishments. Bling book. Pull out the book of bling. Let's see. I think these are going to be too thick, but I will lay them out there because they're that kind of muted gold. They could go, as long as they didn't go on those popped up pieces, that might work. Anything else gold? I know I've got some metallic gold sequins. I don't have anything a really dark navy blue. I don't think. Where are the sequins? There. I know we used them last night, but we didn't use them all. What do y'all think? The brushed gold or the shiny gold? I think I'm leaning towards these. If y'all don't say anything different. If y'all don't change my mind. I have to remember there is a lag in the feed. So when I ask, I got to stop and wait a minute to make sure y'all don't answer me. Right. Let's go with these. And we can set them down here around the bottom. And that way that will level it out, because that's taller than these are. But it lets me use these nice big dots. Okay, so that's the pattern that I was thinking of. And if we look back at the stamp set, you can kind of see the inspiration from it. So this is where I'm getting my inspiration, but this is how we came up with it. So I really like that. It doesn't hurt that I absolutely love that floral blue paper. Absolutely love it. And I want to put an insert in the front. Look, I'm running out of inserts. I may have to cut a bunch. I know that's probably light enough to be able to write on, especially like with a dark blue pen or something. But what I always say is when you put layers on the front of your card, it becomes nice and sturdy. And then even if you've got good cardstock, it makes the back feel flimsy just in comparison. So I always put a liner in my cards, even if it's a white card base. That's something I started doing the last 6 months, maybe a year or so, because I just like the way it balances it. Smooth it out. Here we go. Our first card of the night. I think it's pretty. I think we did well. Let's see. Now we've got those 4 scraps, 4 other pieces. What I was going to say is you can spread these, like I could actually cut a navy blue solid to go with them, and we could make 2 extra cards and mount them on different pieces. Let's see. I think I want to at least do one that way. So I'm cutting, those are 1.5, so I'm going to cut 1.5 again out of the navy blue. I gotta do this up here on the thing. And this is gonna, I'm gonna stick something in that in a minute if I don't put it up. Okay, so let me try this again. I didn't cut that very smooth. 1.5. Clean that up. 1.5. Did I do that wrong again? Why am I may have to mark my 1.5. I keep getting 1 3/4. So these can go together. 1.5. That's the right size. This way, 1.5. Yep. Okay. So we'll try this one in this context. And I don't know if y'all can see it. This paper is actually a linen paper, so it's already got a texture in it. If it wasn't, if it was just a plain blue cardstock, you've got options. You could either run it through an embossing folder to give it some dimension. You could, if you've got some small motif stamps, it wouldn't even have to be this stamp set. You could stamp, you know, use white embossing or pecan pie or something and stamp on these to coordinate them, to make it start coordinate and give it some interest or some texture. And so that's that one. Because I'm using the navy blue in it, I think I'm going to back it with a different color. I really like that backing that we did, the first one. So here's, let's see what this is. This matches that cream. That's a rough, oh, that's a salvage page from something. But you know what? We can still use it. I don't think I'm going to ink these. I think I'm just going to leave them like this. And so that was, those are 1.5, so that's 3. Give it another half. So let me make this 3.5 by 3.5. I think it's big enough. 3.5 by 3.5. I think we'll have a little bit more room on this one. I was limited with that navy blue. Yay, Allie, I'm so glad you tried again, and thank you for being here. Do you try it again tonight? I'm so proud of you and so happy for you. Let's see if I can space these out and see how much room I've got. I might be able to leave pretty good little border on these. Did you get my email, Allie, last night about the orientation on our phones? That's got a rough spot on it. Let me trim it up. Okay, when you're ready to try again, I'll get off and I'll join your live and see so you can practice if you want to. I tried to change my orientation tonight. See, it didn't work on mine either. It let me change it, but then when I pressed the go live button, it said change your phone or reorient your phone. It wouldn't let me do it in the, what is that, horizontal? It only lets me do it in vertical. Yeah, it wouldn't let me. Okay. So this is where we're at with this one. And where did I put that other card? I'm going to lay this one up here. This is the one we just finished, if you didn't see it, Allie. And we're kind of just using some scraps and stuff still. I think this one's going to go on, let's see if we want it on a cream base or a craft card base, because that might tell us layers. Which one do we want? Do we want to do it on this one? Let's look at, that looks washed out to me. I kind of like it on the craft. It pulls out the brown. So let's see. A shadow background, is that what it's called? I don't know the names for stuff. I just do it. There. I think I'm liking that. And when I put this down, I may actually run this through an embossing folder and give that whole piece some texture, I think. This has got a linen texture on it, but I don't know, it's not, I like the idea of it all having the same texture, maybe, like a quilted front. I love a quilt card. Let's see. Now it's just a matter of getting them spaced evenly. That's usually where I mess up. Looks good. In my mind, getting ready for this, because I'm trying to be a little bit more prepared when I go live. I don't know that I'll ever be really prepared, but there's flowers upside down. Do they go one way? I pulled out a whole bunch of paper thinking, oh, we'll make 8 or 9 cards. I may only get like 2 or 3 done. I've got, high hopes, and then I don't get them all done. Since you're a paper pumpkin aficionado, you'll probably recognize this paper. It came out of a paper pumpkin maybe a year ago. It's been a while. And I love that paper. I had 3 strips of it left, and I've been hoarding it because I just thought that was the prettiest paper. I think they may need to make a real DSP out of that. I think they need to release a real DSP full of it. I would eat it up. I love brown and blue together. Oop. There. Now, I don't know. I may not. So we double layered that front. I think we need another front on this one. What have I got? Got another one of those. Also got a polka dot version of it. Oh, that's too. That may not work with these because it's too. It's the exact size of it, so that won't work for those. What else do I have that's kind of that creamy, beigey? I don't know. That looks pretty good. Although I kind of think the spots is fighting with it. If I do that, I think I need another mat between these two. What do I have for that? What do I have in my stash for that? I think all of my navy blues, that's what that paper is. I think all of those, oh, no. Ooh, yeah, that might work. Just a smidge of a blue around it. Okay. I think I'm liking that. I'm going to trim this. I didn't get it quite centered. I'm going to trim that just a hair. A hair. Maybe a hair more. That's better. And I think I got the, I think I just need to give it a haircut. I think it's just slightly off on its borders. I don't know. Yeah, that looks better. That cleaned it up a little bit. And then I wish I had some pecan pie. I think that's what that is. Let me double check that I don't have some pecan pie. Ooh, is that pecan pie? Is that pecan pie? No, that's not it. That's a little too green. Is that pecan pie? That's too small anyway. So I'm really trying not to pull out a full sheet of pecan pie. Trying really hard not to. I want to use my scraps. Use what I've got. Use what's here. Use this up. Ooh. No, that's green. Green. It ain't easy being green. I don't think that's Stampin' Up! Paper. That's too light. That's going a different color range. Let's see. That's more of that. All right. It's not looking like I have that. So maybe we need to reverse our thoughts. Where's that cream card base? Maybe I need to do a craft card front with the cream card base. Do I have a yellow card base? Maybe I've got a different. Nope. I thought I had a cream or very vanilla. I'm still not good with all the different names. What do I have over here? Nothing. Okay. I usually am pretty good about making decisions, but this one's paralyzing me. I don't feel like I've got the right colors there. Do I need a different blue? Would a lighter blue work with that? Whew. Just sorting through the scrap box. I bypassed the blues because I didn't think I had any in that color family. Yeah, that's not it. That's not it. I don't think that's it either. Okay. Make a decision, Suzanne. We are going to go with let's see if this will turn sideways. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Too big to go corner to corner. Anybody out there with suggestions? Have y'all seen something that worked, that you thought worked? Ooh, what if we made, is this one big enough? I wonder what happened if I just ink blend some pecan pie on this. I forgot we can make our own paper, right? Let's see if, I'm gonna get my brush. Where's my brown brush? Let's see what happens if we ink blend onto this paper. What happens? What color do we get? This is a brand new brush, so it's going to take a minute for it to pick up. I forget that sometimes. I get so busy looking and you know, using up scraps that I forget. We have some options. Try to stick around the edge because that's all that's really going to show. It's looking yellow, and I want it to be more brown. I don't think that's early espresso that's in that. I think that's pecan pie. I'm looking to see what other browns. Is it pebbled? No, I don't think it's pebbled path either. I may be working on a dead end with this. It's just not looking brown. All right. We're in it now. Let's go full force. Let's show this paper who's boss. I think the paper's showing me who's boss. Copper clay. I've got the ink, and I do have some of the paper behind me. Those were my favorite ink colors. Are you thinking use copper clay? You are so right. Look at that. You are so right. That is copper clay, not pebbled path. Or not pumpkin pie. You are so right. Good eye, Ellie. And honestly, I love this paper so much I'm going to break my rule. I said I wasn't going to pull out a full sheet of paper, but I'm going to. Be right back. I'm going to grab some copper clay. I just have to find it. I don't know if that's it or not. Nope, that's cinnamon cider. Where are my ink colors? I have a new system for my paper, and I've not labeled it yet, so but I did find a blue that I'm going to pull out as well. Here we go. Let me toss that, and if that doesn't have it, this pack will. When those went out, I bought a full pack of every piece, and then the blended packs too, multi-packs. So let me see. I think this might actually work. That's cinnamon cider, but it's very close. And then if I made a base out of the blue, or made the base out of that one and put it, I think I like that. I think we're going to mat it on this and create a base from this one. Cinnamon cider was an old color, and I said the other day I had a friend who she would give me, she had a bunch of stuff, and so we would split packs of paper. And one year we were doing like gingerbread cookies for our Christmas cards, and that cinnamon cider is the perfect color for gingerbread. And so she gave me like 3 packs of it. Oh, now I just need to score it. And so I've still got a full pack and scraps here and there from the cards. Let me wipe that up before I get it everywhere. I'm so glad you caught that, Allie. I was not even thinking about that being those in colors. All right, so there's our base. And I need to trim out a base from this. Let's see, what is this one? This one is 3.5 and 4 1/4 wide. So let me make this 4 by 4. 5 1/4. I think that'll be right. I'm doing math in my head and I'm doubting myself. Yeah, I think that's pretty. I think that pulls that blue from the background. Midnight, that's probably midnight blue, moonlight blue. Maybe Night of Navy even. All right. Let's finish this card up. Put this down. I need my bone folder or my... I've created such a mess over here on my desk I won't find anything. And then this will pop up. And I've got a partial here I can use. Use up every bit of the dimensionals. Put this border down here. And let's see. That there and that there. That should do it. They laugh at me in my card club because I use a lot of dimensionals. And I just tell them I'm not going to have a saggy card. I ain't got time for a saggy card. And they can laugh all they want. Center it. There we go. That is really pretty. Got a little bit of something on that one. Let me get a glue eraser. I think I got some glue on it. There we go. And let's see, we didn't pick out a sentiment. Oh, that white's not going to work. I may have to... restamp a sentiment. Yep. Let me pull some of that cream and stamp a sentiment on it. Where is that? I don't have pieces of it left. I had a big piece of it left. Where'd it go? I've got a little sign on my wall that says crafting, the art of searching for something you had in your hand 2 seconds ago. All right, so let's stamp a sentiment on this. What sentiments do I have? I need something kind of narrow. Let's see. I pulled out a bunch of stamp sets before. I think since I'm going to make a sentiment, I want to use that one. It's enough if all you did today was survive. That's kind of the world I'm in right now. And I have not used that sentiment, so we are going to use it tonight. It's okay if all you did, where is it? We even get to label a new stamp. Used to scare me to death to label stamps because I thought I'd tear them up if I messed them up. I've messed up so many of them, they still work. It's kind of like, oh, is that the... Oh, I pulled off the wrong. It's okay to sit and simply feel how you feel. That's a good one too. Let's use it. I pulled off the wrong label and the wrong stamp. So let's fix that. Put this one on here. Little bit of an intermission to label a stamp. Okay, and let me see how that's going to look here. I think that will be perfect. I think that will be perfect. So let's ink it up, and you're going to use our, where is it, copper clay. Where's my copper clay ink that I just had? Right there. Since that's new, we're going to stamp off first and make sure. Well, we'll stamp, and if it's not good, we can always stamp again. I got plenty of paper. Looks pretty good. We'll do one more just to see. Got a little bit of a dot there. Where's it from? What am I doing wrong? Let's see. That is one thing I'm really glad with the cling, the photopolymer. So many of these red rubber, I get that shadow around the edge. Try it lighter. I'm just heavy-handed with everything. There we go. That looks good. Set that aside. Close this up. And trim this one out. It's going to be 1 inch strip. And then we'll trim the edges. I don't think I'm going to banner it since it's going to be down there at the bottom. I think I'm just going to leave it. I may round the corners. Let's round them. Why is that not punching? Don't chew up the corner. What is wrong with you? Huh. It's never done that before. Did it mess it up? No. I can clean that up with my scissors. I'm just going to go with our scissors on this one. And hopefully that won't do it again. It's never jammed like that before. Don't do that again. Thank you. Do y'all know this tip from Dollar Tree? If you get their earplugs, soft foam earplugs, if you've got any sharp tools, you can just stick them in there, and that way it protects them so it doesn't scratch up your holder and so you don't poke yourself. So pretty much all of my sharp tools have one of these earplugs from Dollar Tree. All right. We're going to put that on dimensionals. Allie, did you go live? You still with me, or did you go live? I need to jump over there and catch her live. And I do like that linen thread behind it. If y'all are still in here watching us, Allie is learning how to go live, practicing going live. She went live for the first time, I think, last night, and then again tonight. So if you're kind and are willing, hop over there and we can help her figure it out and support her. We always want to support new creators, and she's actually not a new creator. She's just new to live. She's got a lot of really good videos over there. So go check out her channel as well. She does a lot with the paper pumpkin alternatives. So you'll find a lot of cool ideas for those kits from her channel. I'm going to have to put my tape so I can center it. You're preparing your card? Okay, good. When you're ready, we'll jump over there with you and support you. Let's see. This one covers up more of the linen, but it's there. I know it's there. And then we've got these left. Don't want to put it up there. I need to go down around it. Where is my pokey tool? Ah, can't find anything on this desk. We'll go back with this. This is actually a dental tool to clean between your teeth, but it's metal. I don't know how this wound up in my craft room, but it has been the most valuable tool that I keep thinking if I find another one. I think it came from like Dollar Tree or Walmart. But if I find another one, I'm buying 2 or 3 of them, because it's got just enough of a little hook to pick things up, but it's flat. So it says Denta-Pick on it, I think. Denta-Stick. Absolutely a wonderful little tool. Awesome. So there are 2 cards, same paper done different ways. This one's inked and backed in a little bit more of the darker color. This one leans more into the vanilla that's in there. I think they're both beautiful. I absolutely love both of them. So again, just looking at stamps for inspiration and knowing that if I can do it with stamps, I can do it with paper. And so we'll keep playing with these. You will see this a lot because, like I said, this is one of my favorite stamp sets. I feel like anytime I pull that out, I can create with it. So, awesome. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Thank you for helping me make some more cards tonight. I do plan to be live again tomorrow night. I typically go live at 8 p.m. on Central Standard Time pretty much every day except Tuesday. And even once Oak Island stops its current season and goes into reruns, I'll even probably go live on Tuesdays. I'm really enjoying it. So thank you for hanging out with me. If you're still here and want to go help Allie support Allie Cat Crafts, she's getting her card ready and then she's going to go live in a few minutes. So I'm going to get a Diet Dr. Pepper and hang out and watch for her live, and we'll go support her. I hope y'all have a great evening. I hope you're nice to people and y'all be creative. Bye.